Welcome, everyone, to M.M.0.S. stories. I'm Ella Favela, your guide through the mysterious and often spine-tingling depths of human history. At M.M.0.S. stories, we embrace the enigmatic, and we're here to explore the realms of art, true crime, and horror. If you have a fascination for the dark and the unknown, a love for history, and a creative spirit, welcome. You've found your sanctuary. But a word of caution. Our tales may shake you, disturb you, or linger in your thoughts, yet they also have the power to enlighten, empower, and to heal. It all depends on your perspective. If you're new here, welcome to our community. And to our returning friends, thank you for your unwavering support and insightful feedback. Every one of you matters, even those who question or challenge my stories. Your engagement is invaluable. My goal for this channel is lofty: to make a living from it and to use it as a force for good in the world. I believe that social media can inspire positive change. By sharing stories and art that reveal the truth, we aim to spark constructive action. With hundreds of millions online, even reaching a handful of them can create a significant impact. But I can't do it alone. I need your help to expand our reach. Follow me on my social media accounts for exclusive content, giveaways, and contests. The links are on the screen or in the description below. We're currently running an Instagram giveaway where the 100th follower will receive a free painting, shipped worldwide, with no strings attached. Exciting, right? Join us on Instagram for a chance to win a unique piece of art. While you're at it, please consider sharing this video with your loved ones. You never know who might benefit from this mission. Before I go any further, I have a limited number of prints available from this year's print drop. These 9x12-inch prints are on archival quality paper, and they're $35 Canadian each, or 2 for $50. Shipping is free within Canada and available worldwide. If you're interested in these prints or any of my other original works, please email hello@stageleftproject.ca and I'll help you out. Also, my commissions are open. If you're looking for a one-of-a-kind Christmas gift this year, consider gifting an original piece of art. It's a gift they'll truly cherish. But enough with the sales talk. Let's dive into the interesting part. Today's video is a chilling one, so grab your favorite paintbrush, brew some coffee, and prepare yourself. Before we delve into today's story, I must offer a heads up. It covers sensitive and graphic topics that may not be suitable for everyone. This story delves into addiction, abuse, and violence, and it may be distressing for some viewers. If you're currently dealing with these issues, or you have a history of trauma, please take care of yourself first. You're more than free to skip this video, watch it with someone you trust, or seek professional support if necessary. I've provided resources and links for you in the description below. Please do take some time to explore them. I share these stories not to sensationalize the darker aspects of human nature, rather to shed light on them and to learn from them. Discussing these issues can help break the silence and the stigma surrounding them, empowering us to heal and to grow. By creating art inspired by these stories, I choose to transform my pain into beauty and my darkness into light. Consider yourself warned, and please proceed with caution. Reopening the Enigma, Melissa Platt's haunting case. In the hidden corners of society, a chilling narrative of domestic violence unfolds behind closed doors. An unsettling story that echoes through the night, a riddle waiting to be unraveled. Today, we explore the enigmatic world of Melissa Platt, a life overshadowed by profound tragedy. But her story doesn't just end in darkness, it begins there. Within the United States, a shadowy statistic prevails. Over 10 million people, men and women, fall prey to domestic violence every year. However, the perpetrators of these dark acts often elude justice, leaving behind a trail of pain and unanswered questions. Among these victims, Melissa Platt's life embodies an enigma which demands exploration. Melissa's story begins in the heart of Houston, Texas, a city which harbors countless secrets. Raised alongside her two sisters, their bond was so unbreakable they might as well have been triplets. Melissa's early life was filled with adventure and joy, a stark contrast to the darkness which would soon engulf her. She later found employment at a local McDonald's in Baytown, where she enjoyed organizing children's birthday parties. In 2008, Melissa and Joey's paths converged. Melissa grappled with legal troubles and probation, and Joey's ominous presence infiltrated her life. They descended into the depths of alcoholism, far removed from the casual beer Melissa once enjoyed. Her struggle to break free led her to contact drug treatment centers in search of help. Her lover, however, held her captive through manipulation and fear. Within this bleak chapter, a chilling truth was concealed. Melissa's suffering manifested in cryptic whispers to her sisters as her world descended into darkness. A gunshot wound, an incident which should have sent shockwaves, was explained away as self-inflicted. However, the wound's location hinted at the horrific ordeal she was covering for Joey. One fateful night in October 2008, an unfathomable event transpired. Joey subjected Melissa to an ungodly beating, wrapping her in a blanket and leaving her in his trailer in a state of unspeakable agony. For 6 harrowing days, she withered in torment while he continued on with his life, shrouded in shadows. Melissa's relationship with her mother was a lifeline, the telephone line that connected them. When Melissa's calls fell silent, a disquieting premonition haunted her mother. Joey initially answered the phone, making excuses, but he soon silenced the phone, stopped answering altogether. Driven by an unsettling feeling, Melissa's mother reached out to her probation officer, setting the stage for a chilling revelation. The probation officer's discovery on that fateful day shook even the most hardened of hearts. Melissa was found in a condition beyond belief, her body marred by gruesome bruises. Paramedics, well acquainted with the dark underbelly of domestic abuse, were rendered speechless by the grotesque tableau before them. Melissa's battered form painted a gruesome picture. Her face and body bore the scars of unspeakable torment, a testament to the brutality she endured. A pool of bodily fluids, partial nudity, abdominal bruises, all traces of a crime so dark it could only be conjured in the depths of hell. Melissa, unconscious due to a brain bleed, was riddled with fractures, a broken pubic bone, a fractured jaw in 2 places, and missing teeth. Her eyes, blackened and vacant, mirrored her mysterious ordeal. Following an emergency craniotomy, she spoke cryptically, claiming a car accident as the source of her injury, but her initial statement seemed just a hazy reflection of her true suffering. In her final moments of clarity, Melissa whispered the unspeakable truth to her family. She divulged a nightmare tale of Joey's cruelty, how he dragged her by the neck, stripped her, and viciously assaulted her. She revealed that she had been held captive, forced to drink alcohol, and to remain perpetually intoxicated. Testimonies from Joey's ex-wives and children painted a portrait of a man with a history of serious physical and verbal abuse. However, the authorities choose to dance to a different tune. Joey's inconsistent story somehow found purchase in their minds, leading to a shocking lack of conviction. His claims that Melissa's injuries were the result of a fall were preposterous, yet justice continued to slip through the fingers of her grieving family. For 15 years, Melissa's family has navigated this labyrinth of the legal system, trying to seek justice. However, the district attorney's indifference and the case's inactivity have perpetuated the enigma of Melissa's case. The family's appeal for charges against Joey, even just for negligence, have been met with silence. Undeterred by the veil of indifference, Melissa's sister has embarked on a quest for justice. The Twitter account Justice for Melissa Platt emerged, seeking support and funding for a private investigator. Melissa Platt's Enigma symbolizes the cold apathy of those in positions of power, yet her family persists in their quest for justice. As this tragic tale unfolds, a glimmer of hope emerges. A recent report, fresh from the shadows, reveals that in 2021, the investigation of Melissa Platt's 2008 death has been reopened. The implications of this case being reopened are as enigmatic as the story itself. The shadows that have cloaked this case for so long are beginning to shift, revealing the possibility of a long overdue reckoning. Questions arise. Will the truth finally emerge? What hidden horrors may still be uncovered as the case resurfaces? Perhaps one day, the shadows will disperse and the family of Melissa Platt will find the resolution they have for so long deserved. Melissa's story is a heart-wrenching testament to the extent of human suffering that can go unnoticed, a tragedy veiled in shadows that continues to haunt us all. Her case has shaken us to our core, leaving us to ponder the sinister depths to which domestic violence can plunge, with the perpetrators often escaping justice. The heartbreaking and horrifying tale of Melissa Platt has stirred all kinds of emotions within me, and I suspect in many of you as well. As we dive into narratives of unspeakable abuse and injustice, it's impossible not to feel overwhelming anger, sadness, and frustration. My heart simmers with anger directed at Joey, the man who perpetrated these heinous crimes and who ultimately managed to elude the grasp of justice. To know that he walked away unpunished after subjecting Melissa to such cruelty is a grave injustice that gnaws at the very core of my sense of morality. Yet, it's the deep, unshakable sadness for Melissa that tugs at our souls. We find ourselves mourning a young woman who was forced to endure suffering and torment at the hands of one who should have offered love and protection. It's an agonizing sorrow for the dreams she was never able to realize, the goals left unmet, and the potential that will never be fulfilled. Our frustrations reverberate through the system, one that not only failed to protect Melissa, but also perpetuated her suffering. It's a system in dire need of reform, an overhaul of its mechanisms that let countless victims fall through the cracks of its bureaucracy, lost to indifference and neglect. Regrettably, Melissa's story is far from unique. She is one among the countless victims of domestic abuse who are silenced, ignored, and wrongly blamed by society. It's a multifaceted issue with deep-rooted problems, but two of the most pervasive culprits are the stigma of addiction and the disbelief of victims. The stigma of addiction manifests as a negative and discriminatory attitude towards those grappling with substance use disorders. This stigma perpetuates a cycle which hinders victims from seeking help or from being taken seriously. It often fosters an erroneous belief that victims bear responsibility for their own abuse due to their drug or alcohol use. It insidiously engenders skepticism towards their claims, as the influence of substance is used to cast doubt upon their experience. This judgment ultimately paints them as being unworthy of respect, compassion, or support, merely because they're battling an addiction. Simultaneously, the disbelief of victims emerges as a pervasive pattern in our society. This manifests as doubt, skepticism, and at times the dismissal of the claims made by victims of domestic abuse. The roots of this disbelief can be traced back to ignorance, bias, or prejudice, as some people lack the understanding of the intricate dynamics of domestic abuse and the reasons victims often stay with their abusers. Others hold preconceived notions of what a victim or abuser should look like, creating rigid stereotypes which fail to encompass the myriad ways these experiences can manifest. There are also individuals with personal or professional interests which conflict with those of the victim, thereby perpetuating a system which protects the abuser. As I journeyed through Melissa's story, it was impossible for me not to feel an intrinsic connection to her. Our shared experience of abuse wove a bond, a thread of understanding that runs deep. I know what it's like to be entangled with someone who inflicts pain, who controls and isolates you. I understand the agony of losing your identity, your dreams, and the slow descent into a world cloaked in fear, pain, and shame. The most profound contrast, however, lies in the divergence of our fates. I was fortunate to escape the clutches of my abuser and my addiction. I found my strength, my courage, and the path to healing and renewal. But Melissa's life was mercilessly cut short by her abuser, who, to this day, remains untouched by justice. She was deprived of the chance to overcome her ordeal, and her life ended in a tragic whirlwind of torture, which left her spirit broken and her body scarred. Her dreams and potential were left unfulfilled, forever unattained. This stark divergence is why I feel a compelling duty to speak out, to raise my voice for Melissa and all those who never had the chance to do so. It's an unwavering resolve to share her story and to illuminate the narratives of countless individuals who've confronted the horror of domestic abuse. I am driven to raise awareness, to shatter silence, and to ignite change, deploying my art and my voice as instruments of impact. It's my mission, an unwavering commitment to honor the memory of those lost and to champion the bravery of survivors. In Melissa Platt's journey, I find familiar notes of her struggle with alcohol addiction and the devious manipulation that her abuser used to discredit her. It's a tune which resonates with my own experience, a soundtrack of battling addiction and contending with disordered eating for the better part of my life. My own odyssey through this darkness commenced in my teenage years. I turned to drugs and the solace of food as coping mechanisms to numb the relentless trauma that I bore. These vices became my shield against the cruelty of reality and gave me a semblance of control over my life that was quickly unraveling. These clutches would ensnare me during my teenage years. By my mid-20s, I was fully entangled in the web of a full-blown opiate addiction. What followed were years marked by tumultuous relationships with abusive and addicted partners who preyed on my vulnerabilities and exacerbated my conditions. They would shift the blame, attributing their own struggles to my addiction and my eating disorders. They would weaponize my problems to rationalize their abuse and give me promises of change if I stayed with them that would ultimately remain hollow. My story, much like Melissa's, is a narrative of being ensnared in a toxic relationship. I clung to the hope that things would improve, that they would find the help they needed, and that they would love me as deeply as I loved them. But hope proved elusive. Instead, things would continue to deteriorate, and I would descend further into addiction, depression, and thoughts of unaliving myself. I watched as my health crumbled, my spirit faded, and my dignity slipped through my fingers like grains of sand. I lost myself. The journey to healing, recovery from the shadow of addiction, and the battle against disordered eating and abuse took me down a long and arduous path. It was a road marked by a multitude of emotions, from anger and sadness to guilt and fear. It demanded that I confront and surmount numerous challenges, from securing a new job and a new home to finding a new community of friends. It was a process of rebuilding my self-esteem, reconstructing my identity, and resurrecting dreams that had long lain dormant. Throughout this transformative journey, I've been bolstered by an incredible support system. My friends, my boyfriend, and my therapist have been the pillars that have held me aloft during the most turbulent of storms. They've listened, validated, and encouraged me through my darkest hours. Their love has offered me strength, their respect has bolstered my self-worth, and their empowerment has rekindled the fire within me. In addition to unwavering support, I've also chosen to pick up the tools of art, writing, and meditation. They've been my constant companions, offering me an outlet for self-expression, a conduit for processing my emotions, and a lifebuoy during times of overwhelming stress. Through them, I've discovered purpose, a creative passion that fills my life with joy, and the inspiration which propels me ever forward. Yet, Even with 9 years of sobriety under my belt, I still grapple with the stigma and disbelief that some people choose to cast upon me. They weaponize my past addictions and eating disorder to discredit my words and to try to undermine my work. Questions of my credibility, integrity, and sanity are often raised, and my story and mission are frequently met with skepticism. Attempts to silence me, to shame me, and to thwart my advocacy persist. These doubters, in their disbelief and judgment, bear a stark resemblance to Melissa's abuser. He would weaponize her alcohol addiction to manipulate and undermine her by forcing her to drink and then casting blame upon her for the abuse he inflicted. He made her dependent on him and then callously isolated her from others, engendering feelings of guilt, hopelessness, and captivity. Above all, he compelled Melissa to lose herself. In the face of these skeptics, my resolve remains unwavering. I adamantly refuse to cower before their judgment, choosing to speak out not only for myself, but for all those who still find themselves shackled in silence. It's a purpose-driven journey to share my story and the stories of countless others who've navigated the treacherous waters of abuse and addiction. I am unwavering in my commitment to raise awareness, to shatter the oppressive silence, and to ignite a spark of action which can set the world ablaze with change. My art and my voice are the instruments I wield to make this difference in the world, just as my journey is an embodiment of my determination. As I embark on this mission, it's not only about the memory of those who were taken from us prematurely, but it's also a celebration of the strength and resilience of survivors. We are the torchbearers of hope, proving that even in the darkest of nights, the human spirit has the capacity to find its way back to the light. My journey parallels Melissa's in so many ways, but it also symbolizes the prospect of renewal, healing, and transformation. I've taken the shards of my shattered existence, and with the aid of unwavering support and the tool of self-expression, I've rebuilt a new life. This life is no longer marred by the darkness of my past, but rather imbued with the vibrancy of purpose, creativity, and inspiration. For those of you listening who are still grappling with the formidable dual specters of addiction and domestic abuse, I extend my hand in eternal solidarity. I want you to understand that you are not alone and that your situation is far from hopeless, even if it feels that way right now. The strength, courage, and potential to break free from the vicious cycles that have entrapped you lie within your grasp. To guide you on your path, consider these 4 action points. Number 1, seek help. You don't have to traverse this journey alone. There is a network of people who genuinely care about you and who are willing to offer you help, support, and guidance along the way. You can lean on friends, family, or professionals to share your story and your feelings. Reach out to local or national hotlines, shelters, or organizations specialized in helping addicts and victims of abuse. Resources can be found in the description box below. Number 2, make a plan. Begin by crafting a clear and realistic plan for your escape from your abusive situation and for your recovery from addiction. A safety planning guide, which can serve as a valuable starting point, is available in my Linktree in the description box. Number 3, take action. Initiate the actions required to execute your plan. It takes courage, determination, and persistence to face the challenges, setbacks, and difficulties that may arise. Be ready to make changes, sacrifices, and compromises. This journey is not without its trials. Flexibility and adaptability will be your best friends, and optimism, hope, and positivity will be your guiding stars. And number 4, celebrate your progress. In the midst of your battles, remember to celebrate each stride of your progress, regardless of its size. Acknowledge your achievements and reward yourself for the effort you invest. Take pride in the milestones you reach, appreciate your own growth, and offer gratitude for the opportunities and support that have carried you through. You are deserving of the happiness and the success that lie ahead. Melissa's story is a stark reminder of the need to expose the reality and severity of domestic abuse, a pervasive issue affecting millions across the globe. It's equally vital to confront the stigma surrounding addiction and the disbelief which conspire to silence and discredit the experience of victims. Together, we can be the light which dispels the darkness hiding the monsters within. The piece I worked on today is called Signal Intrusion, and it's inspired by the iconic Max Headroom incident.
I've linked it in the description of the video for your convenience.
It's a deep rabbit hole, and I suggest you launch yourself down it. The piece is 9 by 12 inches, and it's made of watercolor, gouache, mica pigments, India and acrylic ink, and gel pen. It's available for purchase, so if you're interested, send me an email, hello@stageleftproject.ca, for more details. If you found resonance in this narrative, I invite you to express your support by liking, commenting, and subscribing. I would love to hear your thoughts, feelings, and your own stories, for this is a space where our collective voices are celebrated. If you wish to stay informed and ensure you don't miss any future uploads, please ring the bell. Thank you again for being a part of this community, for you are cherished and appreciated. Remember, one day, you will die. But for now, live well. Ciao for now.